So now we've done the hardest bit of the modelling, so now we're going to duplicate this bottle. So I'm going to click on Control C, and then I'm going to Control V, and I'm going to copy and paste this bottle. Now at the minute it doesn't look like anything's happened. All that's happened is these arrows have appeared. It is there, it's just directly over the one that was already there. So this is where I'm just going to go to the top view, use the arrows to move into position, hit OK, and you see it's ghosted out. But then if I then activate the very top level, you can see I've got two bottles that way. And then let's do the same thing here. So I'm going to select those two. Let's go Control C, Control V. So what I'm doing, just in case you missed that, is Control C and then Control V, and then give it Control C copies it, Control V pastes it. So I've now pasted two. Again, I'm going to go to the top view, and I'm going to drag down. Now it's starting to get a little bit laggy, but that's just because I've now got quite a detailed model. And I'm going to hit OK, and then we'll do the same. I've already copied that, so Control V is in pasting it, and then let's drag it the other way as well. And then we're going to hit OK. So that's why we put everything into a component before we copied and pasted it, because then we didn't have to bother doing anything else to it. We already had all the liquid in it, we had the decals on it, it already looked realistic. If we'd tried to copy and paste all the separate bodies, it would have looked a little bit messy, and we'd have had to have inserted all decals separately, so 6 separate times, which would be quite time consuming. So that's the modelling side of the bottle done. The next bit, I said we're going to go into the sheet metal area, because we'll make a little carrier case, basically, like you buy like a little cardboard case with a packet of a 6-pack of Coke. So this is where we're going to jump into the sheet metal area. Now, the sheet metal area is very cool. It's very, very different to using the solid or the surfacing area. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to jump into another quick document here and just show you. So I'm going to go to sheet metal. I'm going to sheet metal rules. Now, there are a lot of preset materials already in here. There's things like steel, stainless steel, aluminium are already pre-built in. I've got two custom ones I've added in, which is cardboard and card. I'm going to just keep it on the normal preset first. So the only thing that is similar with sheet metal to solids is you start with a sketch. And what happens is, so you can still use your normal sketching tools. I'll just do a rectangle and I'll hit finish sketch. And then what you do is you go on create flange and you click on the profile, and you don't put any of the measurements in because it's all set by the rules for the material you've already set. So here's already set as steel, so you can have a look at what it says. So it's telling you the thickness is 2.5 millimeters, and it's going to tell you how much it will bend, radius, and those sort of things, and hit OK. Now the reason that matters, because now what we'll do, you just go on flange, and you click on the edge you want to bend, and you pull up, and you'll see what happens if I rotate my screen a little bit. It bends it in the way that ordinary 2.5mm steel would bend. So that is the bend radius that would normally happen. Okay, so you hit OK, and you keep doing that. So you keep hitting flange, click on the edge you want to bend, and you get the same effects you would normally get if you were to bend it in real life. So it simulates how the material would actually act. So you can add in custom materials. As I said, I've added it in card, so you can see it acts the same way. So you'd see how thick it bends. It shows the radius it would bend, and it would let you know if it interacts or intersects in any way like that. You can as well grab the widget and change the angle if you wish to, so you can make flaps that way, like that. So that is a quick little introduction to sheet metal. So now we've done that, I don't want to save you. We are going to use sheet metal. So I have already got in here card, so I'll show you the settings for that so you can put those in. So I changed the thickness to 2.2 millimeters. K factor is about how much the material distorts when you bend it. So think about if you've ever put in, say, a sheet of acrylic into the oven or use the line bender and you bend it, and then on that exact bend how the material actually distorts and bends and how that affects it. I've never not used 0.44, that's like the default setting. I haven't really played around with it a great deal, but for what we do really 0.44 is plenty. And then bend conditions. So this is the setting. So you need to change this to 0.25 and change the release shape to straight. And everything else I've kept as is normal with the default. How I got these settings, really, I looked at a few video tutorials and then a bit of trial and error, and I found this got the best effects for card, really. So I'm going to go to Sketch, and I'm going to click on bottom surface there, and I am going to draw a rectangle so it covers all 6 bottles, and I'm going to hit OK, and then I'll flange from the bottom so it doesn't intersect with the material. So I'll click on flange like that. Now it has actually intersected a little bit, so let's just bodies, and let's move that down a little bit. Now the reason, so you can just see under the bottom there, it's intersecting with the bottles, which I don't want, so I'm just going to move it now before we start, just to make sure it's right. Okay, and then you can see it's not interacting that way. So now I'm going to start to model like a little card carrier type thing for my bottles of Coke. So now I'm going to click on flange, I'm going to click on this edge, and I'm going to start to drag up. Now in fact what I need to do, because I didn't check the materials, I'm going to edit feature. But now let's go to sheet metal in this design. I'm going to new rule. Go back. Let's go back and delete that actually, because I didn't change the material, which was silly of me. So let's go to sketches, because I've already got the sketch that I've done, which is this one. And then let's go to flange. So let's go to sheet metal, rule. Okay, what have I done? Why are you not doing what I want to do? Okay, we're back in. So let's just go back up to sheet metal. Let's click on sketch. Again, let's just draw our rectangle like that. Sheet metal rules. Let's card. Why can I set as default? Okay, let's see what happens if I. Okay, you're not letting me change, which is annoying. Okay, let's edit this. So we'll budge it a little bit. So let's change this. That needs to be 2.2. Keep that the same, and then we want to have bend conditions. We wanted to change what, so let's save that for now. Go to bend conditions, 0.25. So let's just edit that as well. So there we go. 0.25, and then everything else is how we want it. So basically what I'm trying to do there is, because I was talking while doing it, I wasn't really paying attention. I flanged and I said straight away I want to do it steel. Well, what I should have done is had the card thickness. So what I've done now is I've just changed my steel settings here to make it the card settings. Not ideal, but it's a little workaround just because I was not really like focusing when I was doing it, which was a bit bad of me really. Okay, so then I'm going to click on OK. Now I'm going to have to move that again because it's interacting a little bit. So let's go to body, move. Let's drag this down just so it's out of the way. Okay, so now we're back to where we want to be a second ago. So I go to flange, click on the edge, and hopefully you can see now the difference in terms of the radius. It's a much smaller radius. So I've got no particular design in mind. I'm just going to drag up to see, I'm going by how I feel it should look really. We don't want to cover too much of the decal of the bottle. Now if I do one side, obviously it wants me to symmetric, so if I hold control on my keyboard and then click the other side, it'll do them both. And actually I want them all to be the same. Well, in fact, no, let's not do that one. Let's do like that and hit OK. And then let's do a flange on the other side. And let's bring it up about halfway, like that. I'll do the same, control, like that. Now, obviously, if those start hold together, we need to have some glue tabs. So we can absolutely do those tabs as well. So we're going to go on flange again. And then let's click on this edge here and drag it through. Oh, what's happened there? So what that was saying there is that that's not going to work because you are intersecting. You can see there I have not left a gap. So let's go back and edit this feature. Okay, so let's see what happens if I go to flange. So that is a little bit of a gap, so let's see what happens. So it's a little bit fiddly trying to move around. Okay, so there you go. Maybe I was just selecting the wrong one. So you can see it bends and there is a little bit of a gap going through there, otherwise it wouldn't work. Okay, so we'll put that little glue tab there. Again, we'll just do them all the same. So again, I'm going to hold control on the keyboard like that, so it did the same. Zoom in here, do the same on that one. And let's do the same on this edge over here. Oh, make sure we can see it. And here, like that. Okay, so we've got sides and top done there. We've got little glue tabs. Now we need to check with sheet metal that it will unfold again, so it could actually be manufactured. So there is an option to create a flat pattern. So it'll say create a flat pattern. What's the stationary face? Just do the bottom and hit OK. And what will happen is it will show you flat pattern error. Okay, so what's that saying there is that it's not working, so something is not going to fold out properly. Okay, so let's have a look at what is not going to work. So there should be an unfold. So go to unfold. Let's keep that one stationary. So green, those will work okay. So stationary face. What is it that is not bending correctly? They're all green, so. But you can see there it says collision, so it means it's not going to bend. Okay, so what if I do that as a stationary one? No. Okay, so it is saying that those blue ones there are intersecting. So it means somewhere along here there is a little bit that won't unfold. Okay, well we'll leave it for now because for what we're doing it doesn't matter, but when we look at sheet metal a little bit later on it's something worth pointing out as well. So we're going to just carry on bending this. Now that is now bending in the wrong direction, so I can now drag that up. Let's type in, oh no, 90. Oh, what measurement do I want? Oh, I just want 0. Okay. Do it that way, and we'll bring it up. like that. And then I want to have the same on this side. Okay. Now I don't want them to be just straight up like that because it doesn't look very nice. So I'm going to go back over to solids, and I am going to go to chamfer. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to click on this surface here, come round on this surface, that corner there. Sorry, not surface. I'm going to do the same on this one. Do the same on that one there. And then all I'm going to do is drag in and see how it looks. I think that looks quite realistic. And then maybe I will chamfer a little bit more. Let's see what happens. A little chamfer. Let's see how it looks. Let's try you. I think a fillet would probably be better, but let's try chamfer first and see how it goes. Actually, no, I think that looks alright, actually, doesn't it? Let's stick with that, I think. And then let's repeat that. Let's hold control. Click on that surface. And then do control. Click on that surface. Okay. Right, so the last little thing really is to have like a handle to go over the top. So then let's go back over to sheet metal. So again, this is what I've on about before. I said making sure you know what workspace you're in. I'll go to flange. I'm going to drag straight across, remembering of course that I need to have a little bend. So I've realised really what was going wrong before with the sheet metal. I didn't leave enough of a gap to bend, so I'm going to click on OK there. And I'm going to leave a bit more of a gap. And I'm going to go on flange and click on this surface and bring it down. So that way, in reality, I could bend it like that and it would interact properly. In fact, let's extend that a little bit more. Let's a little bit more. Okay. Because it's not a functioning bit of sheet metal here, it doesn't matter if it doesn't work exactly. It's all about the appearance for this one anyway. That's why it's not too big of a deal that our pattern doesn't completely flatten. Bring it down like that. Okay. And then we need a natural bit you can hold on to. So let's click on this surface, click on that surface. Let's drag up. Right, let's do one surface at a time first. Let's do this one, just because it'll let me do a little angle as well. So let's come up. And let's do this one. There we go. So now I can sort of angle them in a little bit. So that's about there. Looks good. Let's see how it's all looking. Okay, and then we obviously need a little hole, so I'm going to go back over to surface. I'm going to solid, sorry. I'm going to create a sketch. Now, I could create a sketch on that because it's flat, but because it's going in at an angle, it would look a bit odd. So I'm going to use this surface here. What I'm then going to draw across here. So I'm going to create, and let's go for a slot. Then let's draw a slot. Like that, and then I'm going to click on E for extrude. And drag it straight through. So now I've got proper handle. Let's add some appearance, so we will just get some paint on that. So let's go to paint. So obviously with Coke, everything really is black and red. So let's go to red like that, and then perhaps I'll make the handle black. So for that, maybe I'll choose go to faces. Let's bring that in, rotate around, do the same that way. Close. Let's see how that looks. Let's go to render. Okay, that looks good. Maybe I'll just make that just red, I think. Let's go back. Let's go back to appearance. Let's do that to all red. I've got a decal to add to the side there, so go to insert and decal. Insert from this computer. What I did have I got it somewhere? I got downloads. Where did I put it? Here. Okay. Well, let's download a little decal now. So let's go with, what do we like the look of? Let's go with that. Let's save image as. Okay, so that's now where I know it is. We'll save that. Let's jump back over here. Let's go on insert, decal, insert from computer. Okay, there we go. So let's click on the surface here. Let's rotate it around a little bit. Change it to 90. Maybe make it a bit bigger. Turn chain faces off. And then let's just turn the opacity down a little bit so it looks a little bit more faded in. Let's go back over to render, see how it's looking. Happy with that. So in terms of the modeling side of things, we've demonstrated the Revolve tool, we've used some sheet metal, we've done some surface modeling as well. So really, that will be done. But like with the Lego block, we talked about having a bit of a scene to go with it.